Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Parenthood. I'm Neha, and this podcast exists to hold the full truth of parenting, not just the tender, glowing parts, but also the uncomfortable, inconvenient, identity shaking parts. In today's episode, I'm in conversation with Vivitsa Kohli, a potter and a business owner, partner of 8 years to Constantine, and mother to Maitreya, born in 2023. Vivitsa describes herself as ambitious, calculative, disciplined, and not particularly fond of unplanned things, which makes an unplanned pregnancy quite the plot twist. She speaks openly about first trimester depression, about fighting rest, about discomfort with the immense sacrifice asked of women, and about the tension between ambition and motherhood. And yet, she also speaks about love, amusement, and slowly retrieving herself as her child grows. Vivitsa, I'm really grateful you're here. Welcome to Parenthood.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's begin with you. If you had to describe yourself in 3 words right now, who would you say you are?
I think I'd go with the classic. I'm a mom
Mhm.
and a wife and a business owner.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if
Mm.
your life at this moment were a chapter in a book, what would you call it?
Um, I don't know if there's a name for this chapter. I think it's one of those things where as an ambitious woman who wants to have a life beyond, just the child and the family, you have to figure out some kind of balance, right? And you keep coming at it. You make so many mistakes, and there's so many frustrations. And I think this is one of those chapters in this journey where I think I'm doing a good job.
Wow.
I feel like I'm in a place where I'm not immediately anxious about the day. I'm not immediately thinking about all the difficult things that today has in plan for me. And I sleep with peace, I wake up with peace. So it's one of those chapters, where I feel like, okay, so much has been happening and all these three things have taken this, this, and this, and I think I can calculate how to do this, this, and this, and now it's good. Now it's going well.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And you've been very clear that this pregnancy was unplanned and that you're not someone who does unplanned well. What was your reaction when you first found out?
I think the first thought that I had was that I'm quite lucky that even without having to show up to this task with so much effort, like so many other people in this day and age have to.
Yeah.
You hear so many stories and just my close personal people. Like I know a lot of struggle with the conception. And the first thought I had when I looked at that positive test was, whoa, that just happened? That's it? That's what it took? One mistake, that's it? Yeah.
Uh, and did you feel ready in any sense or completely
Yeah,
destabilized?
I think we have always felt very, me and my husband have felt very stable in our marriage, stable in how we think of each other, how we view our family, what the future means to us. Like, we've never not been on the same page. So just, anything that sort of comes our way is dealt with a sense of calm. I
Mm,
don't think I'm ever rattled by challenges. Like I don't do unplanned well because I really like planning. And
right.
with the tremendous ambition that I have, I don't think you can go at it without planning.
Yeah.
So like pretty early on, I was like, okay, I can just figure this out. I can just schedule this, this, and this, and it's just been a way of life.
Yeah.
But I would want to say that I don't think I can't do unplanned well
Mm,
anymore because of
mm,
also the business. It teaches you so many things about this broke, that died, this amount of money gone down the drain. Like so much of that happens that you start growing the experience of how to do unplanned well, no?
yeah.
So I think when the unplanned pregnancy happened, it was among all these other things that were also very unplanned and just sort of dropped on my lap. And I think since my child has been born, I've gotten way better at being all of these things: wife, mom, businesswoman. I actually wouldn't use those words. I wouldn't say that I felt trapped in my body. You know how your body doesn't work for you anymore when it's
Yeah.
pregnant?
Yeah.
It constantly does things that sabotage you yourself. Like
Yeah.
it's making a child, and that's its primary job. And it's hardly keeping you alive in any like satisfying manner.
Yeah.
And I think my first trimester was very much that. Like the doctors kept trying to explain it to me that this amount of fatigue is happening because it's making all the foundations for your child. So
Yeah.
this is the most important for his like blocks. And it made sense, but I don't think this is a feeling you can explain. I don't think this is explainable to someone who doesn't go through their body working against itself.
Yeah.
Like especially that conversation between what is asked of a woman. I just don't know how to explain it to my husband. You can say it in words. You can say that I'm dead. I can't move. I feel so sad that I can't move from my bed. But I don't know. How do you ever give them a glimpse into that life? Because definitely, like, I felt lucky that I could get pregnant easily, but I think I felt very uh, maybe thoughts of just, not unlucky to be a woman because we have to do this, but just I felt it was really unfair. There was a very deep sense of this is unfair, this is unequal. There is never going to be anything that this person can do that would,
Balance the
like,
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but how, that's such a can be a profound thought and also a debilitating thought, if you think about it in that way. How did you
Yeah.
cope up with that stage?
Honestly, it went on for so long, the whole pregnancy and then the after. I think the entire time where mentally I struggled with the motherhood part of it all, this thought of it being unfair was a backdrop to everything. So I think it was, yes, profound and debilitating are two very, very appropriate words for how I felt. Profound in the way that it used to take up like some mental space in everything. It would be what I would talk about whenever somebody would want me to share my experience. I, I, I don't like to complain. I really try to hold my tongue when I want to say something bad about whatever is happening. But I didn't know how to process it. I would say it in as many words. I would say I feel like life is so unequal and there's nothing I can do about this. And I'm still processing this. I'm sure I will be able to look at it in a different light when I'm not struggling. But for now, I can't get over this. Like, it also makes you hate your husband a little bit. This is a very recorded sentiment. It happens to a lot of people where you can't get over that part.
Yeah, yeah. Did it make you angry at some point?
I was constantly angry. I think that's one of those things where I don't regret that about, because I don't think I would have been able to deal with it any other way. With the personality that I have and the way I live my life, it would make me angry to sacrifice more than somebody else.
Yeah.
And it would make me angry to um, not be able to do the one thing that I think I'm here to do as, as a human being. I think I'm here to make stuff and create stuff. It rules all of my behavior. And if anything stops me from doing that, I always recourse my life around it. Like I don't ever end up in a situation where I am not able to create. It
Yeah.
doesn't need to make money. It can fit so many other things, but
Yeah.
I can't stop making things. And the fact that there was some part of my life where that was forced upon me, it made me crazy angry. I don't think I've been angry like that. Like in this like deep sense of there's nothing you can do about this anger, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Did anything help?
Mm, my husband joining me, like we were in a long distance marriage
Yeah,
because it was an unplanned pregnancy and we were figuring out our careers in our own countries, and we planned to sort of get together when we were ready to sort of have a house together. But suddenly I was pregnant and he had to figure it out with his work that he could come be with me for my pregnancy and then sort of get me here back to Israel so I
yeah,
could maybe deliver here because it would be easier logistically. But that couldn't happen. So he just sort of shifted to India. And in my second trimester, he joined me. So I think my first trimester was like, it was also worse because I was lonely
yeah,
and going through this thing that wasn't supposed to happen at that time. And it was debilitating. And it was extreme fatigue, just extreme. And it was coupled with extreme acidity, which was the one symptom that went throughout my pregnancy. Extreme acidity to a point where I felt like I was holding puke in my mouth
yeah.
all the time for 10 months. It
Wow.
was just something else. Like it made me a bitter and angry person because I always had puke in my mouth. I
Yeah,
don't know how to explain
literally,
that.
literally. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And something that I really do remember was that everybody who would meet you in this phase of life has all these things to say about, oh, really enjoy this. Oh, be happy. It's gonna affect your child. Be happy. Think good thoughts. And I'm like, I don't know how to explain this. I have puke in my mouth all the time. I don't know how to think good thoughts right now.
yeah.
I'm not angry at you for saying this to me. I wasn't angry at anybody for telling me this like very normal thing to say to a pregnant woman. But I just there have been so many different types of pregnancies,
Yeah.
and men have seen their women going through really bad pregnancies. So, some uncles wouldn't say stuff like that to me. But some uncles really thought that they must tell me that I must think happy thoughts.
And oh yeah, one that always got me was talk to your child. I never knew how to talk to my child.
Yeah, I'm not that type of mom. I
Yeah.
wasn't able to be
Yeah.
able.
Now I talk to my child all the time, but
Yeah.
I was so afraid that I wasn't doing something right because
Yeah,
I just couldn't
definitely.
get it out of me. And
Definitely.
yeah,
All these ways that people tell you to sort of deal with your pregnancy, and it's not that unsolicited, honestly. Like
yeah,
it's okay because some of these things are helpful to some people to hear, and just someone gives you some friendly advice and it does work. But for all the times that it doesn't work or it doesn't fit your life, it feels it makes you feel like you're missing something,
yeah,
like there's something wrong with you. It does make you feel like that. You're in this very vulnerable state, I think, where you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a mom. I don't know if I'm gonna do this right or that right. So yeah, you really get in your head about that.
yeah, yeah. And talk to me about ambition. How do you reconcile your ambition with the slowing down that early motherhood demands?
It's very interesting. I think that thing I was telling you where I recourse my life to make sure I can create.
Yeah,
So after the baby was born, there were like how you have to breastfeed them for a little while,
yeah,
like if you can, etc., etc., all of that, where those things there's like you have to, this is very important. So I would do all the very, very important things, but anything that I could slightly just sort of escape from, or have like ask my mother for help, ask my husband for help, ask anybody around who has any capacity to help, I would just blatantly just throw the child on them. Like I would say, I don't care, help me. I think that's one thing that really got me over this thing of like asking for help. I'm so not afraid to ask for help anymore, especially that whole thought of like it feels so unequal.
Yeah.
That was really like that profound thing did cause this huge shift in me where, as women you don't ask for help, and then that thing, that unfairness of that pregnancy made me shamelessly ask for help. So there is no alternate for a mom, obviously, which is why all the important things I was constantly doing. But anything that can be dealt by anybody other than the mom was dealt by other people. And I really just, whatever time I could steal. I don't know any other mom who's been able to steal as much time um, with, like I didn't have to give him to daycare and I still sort of got time. So I don't know anybody who's, able to have such a supportive network. Like my husband's very, very supportive. Also, he's very blessed to have like a job in high tech where they, a lot of times they get to make their own rules and they have their own timetables. And so, yeah, he would really show up. And fortunately, also, everyone in my life considers my work as important as I do, which I think not a lot of people have this situation. I don't think people respect the mom's job as much,
Yeah.
so people really listen to me when I say that, okay, I can't do this, I need 45 minutes, and this will fall apart if I don't get 45 minutes, so people will do whatever to give me that.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I've managed my ambition, because people have helped me sustain it.
Yeah.
Nobody at, like, I think I was the only person who would say, oh, but now I can't because I'm a mom. And everybody else would be like, no, you can, you can. We'll figure it out. It's okay. You can still do this thing. Of course, I've adapted my ambition to things. I've rolled, like I have been able to say that no, this is not what I can expect myself to do. I can do 40% of this. But at least I can. At least
Yeah.
that vision lives.
Yeah.
And just it's also the practice of things that, just someone not making you give up something altogether, I think
Yeah.
is a really big deal.
Yeah. 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 And did you ever feel that you're constantly negotiating with yourself because you had to now adjust kind of how much you could do, how much you could expect from yourself?
Negotiating, um maybe not negotiating, maybe just asking myself to calm down, I think, is more, because personally, my mind, it runs very fast in with what I want to do. Like I have always had like a to-do list that never ends. So I'm like five thoughts ahead of the reality of the situation. So I don't think I was negotiating. I think I was just telling myself to calm down.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be negotiating कि यार आपकी लिस्ट में अगर 10 आइटम है और आप एक्चुअली सिर्फ 3 कर सकते हो. I don't know if I was negotiating. I was just really just intrinsically asking myself to not have 10,
Yeah.
to just really try to just have 3. What's wrong with you,
Yeah.
ऐसे. And I talk to myself in this like slightly derogatory manner quite often. But yeah, I'm trying to work on that to be a little nicer. But yeah, I think I've made myself expect less. I
Hmm.
have.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said something which was so interesting to hear. You said despite all that discomfort, you love your child and you speak about the amusement he has
Oh
brought to
yeah.
your life.
Oh
So
yeah, I
tell
really
me,
like my
talk
child.
to me
He's
about the amusement. It's just
oh
so
yeah. Yeah, I'm a very goofy person, and I I think I bring out a goofy side in people around me also. So it was but natural that my child, who spent so much time with me, would end up being this like goofball who's always making jokes and making you laugh. So he's exactly that. And it's his primary objective in any situation to go there and do something funny. Or, I mean, he's a boy who's 2.5, so a lot of that means him like throwing something, or him, you know, a wrecking behavior a little bit,
Yeah.
aggressive boy behavior. But he's also sweet. Like, he'd say sorry when he's done something wrong, or he'd not do it. Like, there is
Yeah.
that, you don't hate him. He's not being violent. He genuinely is just trying to be funny. So there is a lot of amusement in my life. I think I'm definitely at also that phase where the parenthood is feeling like, oh wow, there really is no alternate for the joy that you get from your child. Like,
Yeah.
I have reached that where the frustrations are now less than the joy that I'm getting from all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that balance has already, and that's just, so that was, I think that was my one major thing that I'd been waiting for. Like, I was really, really waiting to just enjoy my child.
Yeah.
Because I used to read about this a lot. Like, what are other people doing? Are people as miserable as me? What are you? Do you really like your 6 month old? Because I'm really annoyed by my 6 month old. What do I
Mm.
do? And I used to read all this in lots of places where people would say, nobody thinks of having a child and then thinks of a 6 month old, and
Yeah.
constantly feeding them and making them stop crying. No one thinks of that. Everyone thinks of this tiny toddler running around doing funny things.
Yeah.
People want to have children because they think of this image. So
Wow.
it's okay. That's the best time.
Yeah.
It's okay to have the best time, like, and have to just put up with things till the best time comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you remember the first few moments when you started to enjoy his presence?
Yes. That was, I think, almost 2 years. Like, maybe a month before that or something, I was starting to notice that my time with my child is starting to also be enjoyable than just a compromise in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm very straightforward with the way I speak
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
I know that it's quite taboo to say things about how not enjoying being a mother and all of that, but like, man, it really wasn't. It wasn't up until like a late point, I would say. I was like, this is just a struggle. This is
Yeah.
just a compromise.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop me from having another one, definitely. But it's just this, like, reality of the situation. Like,
Yeah.
I would like to just be able to speak it
Mm.
in this exact manner, that it was,
Yeah.
there are very few things that are fun. I'm a
Yeah.
very high energy, fun, speaks a lot, does a lot type of person. And a tiny baby doesn't do that stuff.
Yeah.
They can hardly move, they can hardly, like, comprehend things. It's quite tough to enjoy that for
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Slow people, I've noticed, have a better time with like a smaller child. They're
Yeah.
chilling, child is chilling. They're like, "Oh, I'm so happy he doesn't walk here." I'm like, "Why are you joking? He doesn't walk. He does nothing. Aren't you bored? Aren't you annoyed? Why doesn't he do anything?"
So what did he start to do so that you started enjoying that time with him?
Talking.
Uh-huh.
Because also my child, has three languages that are primary. So
Yeah.
he was a late speaker. And that really changed my thing. It delayed a lot of my gratification because, like, communication was very important to me. And I think till a pretty late point, I was just trying to understand तू क्यों रो रहा है, तेरे को क्या चाहिए, मतलब इसमें most of the day was just going in like problem solving. And man, I don't know how to explain this to non-parents, but the sound of your child crying inconsolably for a very long time is one of the worst sensations. Not even experience ki, oh, I'm so sad for my child. Just it bothers your whole body. You would do anything to make that stop. But sometimes your child will not stop crying. So it's one of those things where those really, you know, take more precedence sometimes.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
How do you fix this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
takes me back to that time where my son would cry and I would feel it, as you said, I would just feel it in my body, that whole crawling sensation, and I would just
Yeah.
hand the baby to my husband and like, take it,
Yeah.
and I need to,
Yeah.
I just can't deal with it. I,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I've noticed I've noticed this literally like a face, like this, it's just like you will literally do this, if you had to deal with this situation any longer. It's such a human, like deep response. It's very powerful. It can make you feel really bad about yourself also,
yeah, 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 and yeah, but you need to do what you need to do in that moment.
Yeah, imagine.
And tell me about retrieving your personality. That really stayed with me. You said that when he started communicating, you started to retrieve your personality. What does that
Yeah,
mean?
because he was doing the things that I want him to do, which is talk to me
Yeah,
and play with me. So I felt normal because I was being myself with my baby now. I wasn't constantly just trying to figure out how to make him not cry,
yeah,
you know. So it literally got me back to being me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that makes me think, did you ever think or feel like you are disappearing into motherhood?
Hmm. I think I see that or feel that only when I see people living young, free, carelessly in the way that I cannot afford to do. Like every time I pass by a bar, I see people on some Monday night, even, not even Monday night, any night,
Yeah,
just out having a beer or something with like five friends around. It's just, I don't think I've ever passed that situation without some part of my body going like, I don't know when that's ever gonna happen. That gone are the days. Like every single time. And I live pretty close to a street that's just full of bars. So it's my everyday reality where I see that situation.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, thanks for making me feel bad.
really.
But talking about retrieval and resurfacing, what parts of you are resurfacing now?
Now that I'm able to give him to a kindergarten for 4 to 5 hours of the morning, it gives me a really nice set of time to, well, do yoga for myself, clean the house, make sure the kitchen's in a state that I can do something later in the day, at least for the house as a wife. Then, third is deal with my business, deal with my personal clay, whatever my personal project is. But there is enough time in this 4 to 5 hours where I'm able to significantly, like, do stuff in all of these
Yeah,
fields.
yeah,
And it I think this, it changes everything
yeah,
if you can get a few hours of the foundation of the day, the morning,
mm,
to yourself, where you can not be a mom. It makes being a mom for the rest of the day way easier.
yeah, yeah. And now I want to talk to you about your partnership. You've described your marriage as one where you depend on each other in a paramount manner to live the life you want to
Yeah,
live. What does
yeah.
that dependence look like in practice?
Hmm. Um, eh, don't get me wrong, there's lots of fights about lots of things. Um, uh, I don't think people know that with equal partnership comes more fights, because when you have equal control over things and you have equal say over how something should be done, there's lots of democracy about, nahi, I think this way because I was brought up this way, and then because this, there's like all these things that were just, the dad deals with this, the mom deals with this. It's not there anymore. Now you guys are doing all of this together. So you're just
Yeah.
fighting about every part of your life. But I think I just still have a really good marriage. Like I'm just very, very set with my husband. No matter what the fights are, I still, like, 95% of my time is spent feeling very um sorted.
Hmm.
Like, I don't have questions whether this is right or that is right.
Yeah.
I just, I'm really lucky. It's also, I just live, जो हो रहा होता है मेरे दिन में, what my work needs, what my family needs, I just do. I don't ever have to think about how to do it or what to do. I really enjoy a life of just doing
Hmm.
and not having to think.
Hmm.
I don't know how to explain this better actually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think I've seen a lot of people, or I've heard lots of conversations where they're trying to problem solve people's behavior, or oh, this person deals with me this way, should I respond this way or should I respond that way? Like, all of this sort of thought, that's completely absent from my life.
Hmm.
I just have this reality, and the reality is almost always, it's just manageable.
Hmm.
It's not good always, it's clear.
Yeah.
Life is very clear in the way we live it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that partnership, I think, is a large part of that. I
Yeah.
feel very clear because my husband's this sort of a person who just, like, he says, what do you need? So this needs to happen. Okay, so the plan is this and this.
Hmm.
There wouldn't be a, but should the plan even be this? Because I was thinking, there isn't much of that.
Yeah. 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 And how
So
is he as a father?
he's a he's a really involved father, a very affectionate father, which I've never really seen, because in my own family, the way you show affection is you spend time with people.
Yeah.
There's no like physical, bodily type of affection. So just the fact that he, holds the child a lot, or like hugs him a lot, or spends a lot of time rolling around, or, just that is new. And it's also fun to look at, to just see that there's this like comfort, like there isn't that. My husband's also not very like macho, or he's very just not fluid, just he's softer, he's nice, he's easy to be around that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with this sense of ye galat hai, ye sahi hai.
Hmm.
Very just flows. So I really like that approach, um as a father with the child, because with the child it's very important to not show up to this small child as a this is right and this is wrong, because first of all they don't even understand right and wrong till a way later age. Like, and around 2 they start to figure out what it is to say no, you
Yeah.
know so they're saying no to anything. They're saying no to every single thing you say in the day.
Yeah.
So what my child thinks that's bad, is he
Hmm.
saying no because no, it's not bad. He doesn't understand anything right now. So it can really piss people off sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're like, no, you have to wash your hands. You just played in this absolutely disgusting pile of shit. And the child says no, and then he runs away, and then he does this. He puts so an angry father, a father can get really angry at things like that,
Yeah.
but my husband mostly doesn't, like, comes to it calmly.
Yeah. 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 And tell me, how do you protect each other's dreams while also raising a child?
Oh yeah, that's a very important thing, I think, in our household, because both him and I are very ambitious with what we want to do in our lives and how we want our work to be. And I don't think we're very ambitious with our like family or something, but it's a foundation for both him and I that families just spend time together. We
Yeah.
eat together, we do this together, we watch things together, we have to share opinions on things. So all of that sort of comes naturally. um the ambition part, I think there's a lot of communication around it. There's this, through a lot of fights, we started understanding how to present what we really need for our work so
Yeah.
that this other person can adjust it in their life and not be pissed off with the way you presented it. Or you didn't say that I need 20 minutes. You said I've been doing this for 7 hours. I'm so, like figuring out how to not just complain and ask for things instead of
Yeah.
being mean to each other.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. How did you learn that?
I don't think I've fully learned it. I just think we have less fights now because of this. Like, I guess somewhere we're a little better. I do notice that I tiptoe a little bit more when I'm presenting something because I've had fights about A, B, and C. Now, when I'm presenting something, I'll be very mild about A, very mild about, like,
Yeah.
I know the trigger points now,
Yeah.
but we still fight, but well aware of trigger points.
Yeah. Yeah. and and tell me about creating that's like you said your purpose of life sounds like you're here
Yeah.
to create, and it's
Yeah.
such a tactile thing that you are
Yeah.
in pottery. Has
Yeah.
motherhood in any way, do you think it has influenced the way you create? I mean, not just
Yeah.
the amount you create but also
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How I create, no. Content matter, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm a lot of my art also, it's very straightforward. It's not ki I've made this because it represents that. It's
Yeah.
never this represents that. It's just this is what it is.
Yeah.
This looks very cute because I want it to look cute because I think in my life women wearing sarees look absolutely adorable. So I'll make
Yeah.
it like this, and this way.
Yeah.
So a lot of my art now, I think about things as just, as a mom, I like this a lot. Like I'm planning to make very huge earrings of my child's face, just
Hmm.
fully his head, like sculpted.
Wow.
And like one side he's crying really badly, and one side he's like cackling with laughter. And I would love to wear this because eh, like the way that the women in the sari have made a huge impact on me, it's made a
Yeah.
huge impact on me that I just see my child constantly, and I'm not bored at all of seeing this tiny human do like insane things.
Yeah.
He's constantly amusing, so I would love to wear it, I'd
Hmm.
love to like make stuff around it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just changed my content matter of life, but
Hmm.
not the way I approach things at all.
Hmm.
I don't think anything really has significantly changed the way I approach things
Yeah.
somehow over
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah. Yeah. What does a typical day look like for you right now?
I on the weekdays I get a free, not a free, like I wake up, I have to get the baby ready. He has to eat a little bit before we get ready. There's like 7,000 things he needed to talk to me about, and he needs to cry about five things that I maybe even slightly said no to. And there's the whole like drama in the morning. Then I go drop him. Sometimes I have to drive my husband to the train to drop him so he can commute also. And I make it back by 9:30. I do my yoga. I alternate between my studio, India business work and my own work. I clean the house in tiny windows of breaks of these things, do the laundry, do the dishes, all of this in breaks, windows of time. And by afternoon 2:15, I have to go pick up the baby. And after the baby comes back, nothing significant happens.
Yeah.
Literally, like chores go down to maybe 5%. And और एवरीथिंग इज अबाउट अब उसने ये फेंक दिया, अब हमने ये खोल दिया, अब हम ये कर रहे हैं, अब हम so yeah, the moment he's back, it's just him exploring life and me assisting him do it.
Wow. I love that. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a hack, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And where do you feel most stretched in your day, and where do you feel most yourself?
Um, where do I feel most stretched? Like stretched thin? I
Yeah.
think right before the end of the day, by like 6, 7, it gets hard.
Yeah.
You're tired. You're like, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to be bedtime, please. And the child is getting more and more. Oh my God. And I have to do this. And because I think they start understanding that since we have to go to bed, so I have to do a lot more
Yeah.
before bed. I don't know why they keep reaching peak energy around the time that you're dying.
Yeah.
So that's every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm stretched thin then because most of the times my husband's not back from work by that time. And I'm happiest, I think, during the morning when I'm on my own.
Yeah. And do you allow yourself rest now, or is that still a battle?
I think I allow myself on the weekends. uh, Usually, before I was able to send him to the kindergarten, it would be that the weekends are the only time that my husband isn't working, so can he look at the baby and be primarily around, and I can do my own thing. So there was zero rest in life that time. And you know how the parent thing is, most life feels like it's zero rest somehow. But now I think with this new system, at least on the weekend, like some chunk of the day you're able to sit on the bed a bit more. Some chunk of the day you can, like while the baby's playing, you're just lying on the floor or something. But again, it's really rest with a child around doesn't look anything like rest the way we know it works, right? Like it doesn't feel until the baby is fully taken away from you, and then someone's asking you like, "Oh, do you want to rest?" And that I would call traditional rest, which I don't really get a lot of because the baby's mostly always around. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't hear you for some
Okay.
reason.
Can you hear me
Yeah,
now? Okay.
yeah, perfect.
I was asking if you could sit across from the version of you in that first trimester who was
Mm,
depressed, exhausted, fighting rest. What would you say
yeah,
to her now?
I'd say nothing.
Hmm.
Really, there was nothing. I, I've tried to, as we all do, we look back at our difficult times in life and go like, oh, if I only knew this that time, or
Yeah.
like, for example, I had a really difficult time in college, and I wish I could go to my college self and be like, dude, it's fine, it's gonna be fine, you're gonna do so well after or before or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just college, it doesn't matter. But that time, I don't think you can say anything
Hmm.
to somebody who can do nothing else.
Hmm.
They can do nothing else but live that reality of their body being like this to them, where they can't escape it in any form of, like your body has to do something for you to, disconnect from this feeling of
Yeah.
nothing happens. Because nothing happens. What
Yeah.
will I tell her?
Yeah.
Can't tell her. She has to go through it. She'll figure it out. She'll just make it through, I guess. Days
Yeah.
will pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Days have passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and tell me, my last question for you
Mm.
for today
Hmm.
is, and what is that one thing about motherhood that no one prepared you for?
Hmm. How much of you throw away? Like your Vivitsa Kohli as a human being is not really here anymore. It's Vivitsa Kohli, the mom, who
Yeah.
tries to do other things also.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And people who don't like really live around that reality don't know this about me. So sometimes when they're talking to me, that sort of ignorance or just that sort of, like not having any idea of how depleted moms become after
Yeah.
they have children. you know, that shows through. I wish this was a bit more of a conversation ki moms just give up, bro.
Yeah.
They give up their selves and lives. They have to.
Yeah.
Unless they're gonna be straight up bad moms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they can be like, yeah, I'm gonna give my child away for 8 hours of the day and they'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
unless, you're doing that, you're giving up
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. 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 And also, have you ever felt that you also didn't understand moms before you were a mom?
Yeah, because they say this, like it's not like my mom didn't say that, you won't really be able to do anything. Um, Mom never complained about like, oh, I gave up this or that. She's never said something like this to me. She's never had this in her disposition also. She's never been angry at her children for things like that.
Yeah.
But it is basic conversation. Like it does come up while
Yeah.
you're living life. You get to know that, oh yeah, moms give up a lot.
Yeah.
But don't I, I don't think we're doing a good job of saying it. I don't think it's not reflecting. Varna, these people that I'm having some business conversation with who have just gotten to know that I'm a mom to like a 1 year old will be speaking to me a little differently. They would be asking different questions. But no, they don't. They think that yeah, she's talking to me, so she clearly has time, so
Yeah.
she'll be able to do this. It's very different. I don't think it comes into people's consciousness ki bro, moms do not have a life of their own.
Yeah.
Everything is just about this child.
Yeah. 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 So true. So true. Yeah. Oof. I'm having goosebumps after goosebumps. Thank you, Vivitsa. Thank you for speaking with me. And thank you for speaking about discomfort without masking it in gratitude. Because, that is one thing that we always get that, oh, this
Yeah,
is, but I'm so thankful. But I'm so thankful. So
yeah.
I just really, really respect you for that. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you so much. I really wish ki women would just feel slightly less. Sorry, one second. I've lost you. One second.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah. I really wish women would feel less bad about, I don't know, being able to complain about things,
yeah,
husband, parents, children, especially children. It's okay that it was a really bad experience. It's okay. You know,
yeah.
it's I- we're all just trying to like keep it all together. That's our role. We're like caregivers, etc., etc. I
Yeah,
get that. I just don't think it you can keep showing up to that job, but just show up to it with this honesty. Like
yeah,
be honest. Like your child was really annoying you. Be honest.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for being honest with us. And
Thank you so much for allowing this. Yeah, that
yeah,
it feels really nice.
yeah. Thank you. And to everyone listening, if this episode resonated, share it. Follow Parenthood, leave a review if you can. Until next time, this is Neha Garg signing off. Bye bye.